Hey friends, so I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty. I don't know what's wrong with Facebook Live on my computer, but it will not let me pull it up. So I am going to back up because I don't like to be late, and so I'm just going to say forget what I was doing. I was going to show you my screen so I could share some slides with you, but I can't. So let me turn the light on. Because again, nothing works the way that I wanted to. But anyways, okay, so my name is Holly Richardson, and it is a complete honor to be able to come on here and talk with you guys. So I was on the national wave, and I'm just going to talk to you like I'm talking to my girls. So I'm just going to talk to you like I'm talking to my girls. But, and I'm going to try to pull up on Facebook the things. So if you have questions, you can comment them in the chat, and I can respond. But it was an honor to be able to talk to y'all on the National Wake Up Call, and I'll be honest with you, my inbox was flooded with questions about how do I find people to invite every day, and what am I saying to people? The main question was, where do I find people to invite every day? And so that was something that I truly wanted to help people with, but answering everybody individually was it was going to take a long time. So this is going to be a great way for me to do that. But again, I was going to share my screen with y'all, and I can't, so we're just going to roll with it this way. And my battery is dying on my phone because I wasn't planning to use my phone. Anyways, hopefully this will work long enough. But, so, where do I find people to invite every day? The first thing that I'm going to say is you have to make sure that you have your purpose and your why figured out. Like, that has to be number one, because if it's not number one, you're not going to wake up every day and want to invite people. That's just the way it is. You've got to keep your purpose and your why. You've got to know that it is a big enough purpose and why to do this business every day, because we're all busy. I'm a mom of 3. We are super busy people, so we have to keep that at the forefront. Okay, so that's number one. Number 2 is you have to be real and you have to be honest with people. People are going to see straight through you if you are being fake and you're not really doing what you're saying you're doing. The next thing is to make sure that your social media, your Instagram, your Facebook, whatever platform you're using, is your billboard. You want it to be a billboard that is going to attract people to you, and that's going to keep people attracted to you. So we don't want our billboards, our Instagrams, to be all beach body. Like, we don't want it to be full of all fitness and transformation posts and our Shakeology and all of that. We want it to be a well-rounded billboard. When you look at mine, and I have it, but I can't show it to you because it won't let me share my screen. But when you look at mine, you see that I'm a mom, I am into fitness, I am a baseball, we're a baseball family. You can see a bunch of different things about me more than just my beach body. And another thing you're not going to see on my my Instagram page is ads and corporate flyers and graphics and all those things, because then you just kind of like a sales page, and that's not the kind of people we're looking for. So you want to make sure that your Instagram is a billboard for your business. And you want to be showing up on your stories. I tell my girls this all the time. Inviting is not the hard part. The hard part is being consistent, hey Nikki, and showing up on your stories. That is the hard part, because here's the thing. If I go to invite somebody to do a challenge group or invite somebody to coaching, but they have never seen me talk about coaching or talk about challenge groups, or they've never seen me work out, they've never seen me drink Mama Energy, they've never heard me talk about how the coaching opportunity has changed my life, they're not going to believe what I'm inviting them to. So you got to make sure that you're showing up and being consistent on your stories every day, so that when you invite them to something, they actually believe in what you're inviting them to. I'm really hoping my phone won't die. This is not the way that I plan to do this. But anyway, so that's that. So make sure you're taking inventory of your Instagram and your Facebook. And then here's the thing that I tell my girls to do. This is where I focused on. When I first got started in Beachbody, I went through my friends list A to Z. If you have not went A to Z through your Facebook friends list and your Instagram friends list, start there today. And here's what I want you to imagine. I want you to imagine you're working for this company or this, you have a boss, and this boss hands you these spreadsheets stacked full of names, and he says you have to contact every single person A to Z on this list, and you have X, Y, Z days to do it. That's what you need to do with your Facebook. It needs to have no emotion tied to it. It needs to have, you do not need to care if they respond with yes, no, or they don't respond at all. Your job is to invite what you're sharing to. If you're truly 100% passionate and believe in what Beachbody has to offer, then you will share this unapologetically and without fear every day. So I started A to Z. I have I don't know how many Facebook friends. It doesn't really matter how many you have. It's just that you're inviting who you do have. So A to Z is where I started. And now Facebook is really cool because it does like Instagram. You can invite from oldest to newest or newest to oldest. You can sort your friends to oldest, newest, oldest. So that's where I go number 2 is invite A to Z and then oldest to newest, newest to oldest. Once you've done that, you need to go back through and start following up with the people that ghosted you. Maybe it wasn't the right time. You need to follow up with those people. And then, so that's kind of where my big bulk inviting comes from. But because then it becomes very strategic in getting through your list, A to Z. The next place is when I sit down on power hours with my girls, we do inviting from likes and comments on my posts. So this is why also it's very important to make sure that your posts are relevant, they're up to date, you haven't went a week without posting, you're on your stories and all of that. But you want to make sure that you have a post to go to every day to go to people who've liked and commented on it so you can invite from there. So going there, again, tie no emotion to it. If they're liking your stuff and they're commenting on your stuff, that means that they are attracted to what you're putting out. And then from there, you can send them an invite, build a connection, all of that. I like to say connecting is inviting because sometimes you got to put the connecting inside in first before you get to an invite. And then I also, if you're taking notes, I invite from my followers. So I go to my followers on Facebook and my followers on Instagram, and that is where I invite from once I get to that part of my power hour. And I usually spend about 10 minutes on each of these things, so inviting from each of these things. So if you set a timer for 10 minutes, go A to Z. Set a timer, 10 minutes, go oldest and newest. Set a timer, 10 minutes, go likes to comments. Because if not, what happens, you'll get kind of sucked into one area and then you'll not ever get to the other ones. So inviting from followers. And then the next one is inviting from my stories, people who are viewing my stories. And I talk on my stories all day long. I typically don't go on my stories at 7 a.m. and not show up again until 7 p.m. I'm showing my stories, and I've even had girls say, well, what do you do when you work 10 hours a day? How do you show up on your stories? You make intentional ways to show up on your stories. You do the 15 seconds maybe before you go into work or after work, or you get strategic about how you can do that, but showing up on your stories every day so that when you get to your power hour, you can go and you can invite from your stories. So that's another thing. So now, a lot of people are saying, how do you invite this many people? Well, now if I've got all of these categories and I've only got 10 minutes for each one, you can see how it doesn't take a long time to have this amount of people to invite. You've got them all right there. I typically recommend doing, you don't want your stories to be like little bitty decimals, like all the way across the thing, where you've done so many. Sometimes mine are, but you also don't want it to be like 2 or 3. You want it to be where people are attracted to you. It's kind of like a reality show. People are watching what you're doing every day. And so that is really where I get the bulk of the people that I invite. When I first started, this was the thing, I was sending 100 invites a day because I was starting A to Z, and I was going 100, I was shooting for 100 every single day. And y'all, it doesn't take long to send 100 invites a day when you have this many people, like I don't have a huge following on Instagram, but when you're inviting from all these categories, let me say that, when you're inviting A to Z, oldest and newest, likes and comments, and you can, if you just now are brand new to Beachbody, you don't have to invite from likes and comments on your newest Beachbody post. It can be posts that you made 6 months ago about your family. But when you've got all these categories people invite, you will come up with a huge 50 to 100 people to invite every single day. Now, how do I add to my network every single day? Because what happens when you do go through those A to Z and oldest and newest, and you notice the same people are showing up on your stories and the same people are liking and commenting on your stuff, it's time to make new friends. This is a friend business. You're in this business to make friends, build relationships, and truly, if you keep this so fun and you have fun connecting with people, I promise you'll never run out of people to invite to this opportunity. And so, just giving you 3 simple ways that I that I add to my network is, number 1, I go to suggested friends list on Facebook. Facebook suggested friend list is brilliant. I go through there and you click on suggested friends on Facebook. It's going to pull up all these people, and most everybody has a ton of mutual friends with you. This business will go through so much further. I mean, you'll get so much further along if you are staying close-knit with your people that are semi in your circle. And so mutual friends is huge for me. So I'll go through there, and I will add 30 to 50 new Facebook friends every day. And I'm only adding friends that are kind of in my niche. That's what we call it. Like, I'm adding a lot of moms. So I'm adding a lot of moms who that look like I would be friends with, that I want to be friends with, maybe by our mutual friends and all of that. So 30 to 50 suggested friends a day. And then on Instagram, it's kind of different. It's not suggested friends, it's just mutual friends. So I'll go to a friend of mine that maybe I feel like she is a good quality friend that I'm attracted to and that I think a lot about, and I'll go to her, and then I'll go to her mutual friends. And if I'm not friends with some of her mutual friends, that's where I'm adding friends from. And I'll do that for about 5 or 10 different friends until I can get 30 to 50 new Instagram mutual friends from there. So you don't have to stick with one friend. You can do multiple friends. And sometimes I do friends that are in my boot camp, because if they're in my boot camp, then they probably know that she's working out, and if she's working out and she's doing this, then people want to do whatever people are doing. So I add 30 on Facebook at least, and 30 on Instagram at least every day. Now, I don't go and add them and then send them an invite. I add them, and then I start building relationships with them throughout the month until where it becomes a natural thing to invite them. One of my brand new diamond coaches who went diamond in 30 days came through this method of adding from a mutual friend. And then the next way to add to your market that I do is I will follow either accounts or hashtags that are relevant to me. So, like, for example, hashtag cheer moms. I have 2 little girls that do cheer, and so I will do hashtag cheer moms, and I'll look through the pictures and I'll add women on there who look like they would be friends with me, who I would be friends with. And so I do that with accounts, I do that with hashtags, and just try to add 30 of those every day. So this is constantly adding to the network, and I like to think about it like this. I want to make sure I lay my head down on my pillow every night, and I have added new friends. I want at least good 10, 20, 30 new friends every day. I just want to make sure I have new friends every day. And I feel like I'm going fast, but I'll be honest with you, I'm afraid that my phone may die because I did not plan to do this on my phone. So I really do not want this to die. So I see some comments out there about what do I send them. When I get a brand new follower or a friend on Facebook, I will send them a message that goes like this. Hey friend, or not hey friend. I usually say, hey girl, thanks for the follow. Hope you're surviving this craziness, or something like that. Very simple, 2-3 sentences. Hey girl, thanks for the follow. Hope you're surviving this craziness. I send that to them as soon as I find out and realize they're following me or they've accepted my friend request. And then what they automatically start doing is they start following me. Always. They always start watching my stories. They start commenting on my posts. And I use that as a way to build the relationship, and I'll start commenting on their stories, because when you comment on their stories, you end up in their DM, and that's what you want. And so that's the message I send out to brand new followers and Facebook friends. My invite changes every month based on which challenge group I'm promoting, but it's very similar to this because I know that's a question. It's, hey Fred, I'm enrolling for my next round of a 21-day fitness and nutrition boot camp, and I wanted to invite you. You'll get workouts to tone your whole body, yummy meal plans, and tons of recipes, and a supportive accountability group. Would you be interested in more information? And I forget who trained on this. Instead of saying, would you be interested in joining us, when you change it to, would you be interested in more info, I have changed my invite to that, and it is amazing. Everybody says, sure, yeah, give me more information. Instead of committed, they don't feel as committed if you just say you'll give them more information. So maybe try your invite like that. And then follow-up is the biggest thing. So follow-up, most of my challengers come from follow-up. So if you're not following up with people, you need to be following up. The fortune is in the follow-up. And I'll read you these sales statistics, and you've probably heard them before, but if you haven't, 48% of salespeople, which we are in the market of sales, unfortunately, they never follow up with the prospect. So they'll send an invite out, and they'll never check back in. 25% of people make a second contact, and then they just stop. 12% of people make 3 contacts and stop, so they'll invite 3 times. And only 10% of people make more than 3 contacts. Only 10% of coaches make more than 3 contacts, meaning they've been ghosted, and then they quit. But do you know that 2% of sales happen on the first contact? That means when you send somebody an invite out and they don't automatically jump on what you're offering, only 2% of people do. 3% are on the second invite. 5% will say yes on the third. We're still only at 5. 10% will say yes 4 times inviting them. And 80% of sales come from the 5th to the 12th time of contact. So if you have been getting a ton of no's, it's not that you're doing anything wrong if you're showing up and you're being consistent. It's that you've not invited and shared this opportunity enough. Like, you've not done it enough times to get a yes. And that's all you need to do is just do it more, and you'll get more yeses. So just know that if people are not saying, I hate the word, I don't like to say ghost, because there are people who are not ghosts, but like if people are not responding to you, it's probably because it's not the right time for them, or maybe they just got busy. And it's your job to stay consistent, keep showing up, and keep inviting. And then keep adding to your network every single day. If you're serious about this business, you will work time to invite or do something business related at least an hour a day. Set your timer for 10 minutes through each of those categories I talked about. Go back and watch, and you can set a timer for each of those 10 categories and invite from there. And then follow up with people. Don't be afraid to follow up with people. I usually will follow up, meaning if they didn't respond to the invite in May, then they'll get another invite in June. I don't send them an invite every week. I usually send a month. And I know people do it differently, and you got to do what works for you. But I usually hit SC 40 or higher, and I usually do that from following up once a month. And so, anyways, I hope this was helpful, and I hope that if you have questions, you can put them in the chat, and I'll go in here and charge my phone and answer some of those. But that is truly where I find people to invite every day. It's always building relationships and always making sure that I'm adding to my network every day, and I'm showing up. And my Instagram is something that would attract people like me to it. And that's what you want. You want to attract people like you that you want to do life with, that you want in your business. And so that's what you need to make sure you're putting out there. If you're not talking on your stories, talk on your stories. People don't really care about your boomerangs as much as they care about what that boomerang of your mama energy is doing for you. So you need to tell them what it's doing for you and be real and just get more comfortable talking. So I hope this helps, and I hope you go out and you blow it out of the water for you. Have a good day.